What is up guys? With WoW's just releasing not too long ago, I hear a lot of people complaining about the game being too easy. But Monster Hunter has always been easy, ever since World at least. Just to prove it, I decided to take on the base game of Rise using no armor, and to spice the gameplay up, I have to use a different weapon on every hunt, excluding the gunner weapons because ain't nobody got time for that. I'm allowed to use any items I like, and eventually I was able to equip both the charms and the talents, but no talisman either. And just to mention this once, I use the defender weapons all throughout the run. Before we begin, I want you guys to comment down below what monster you think will be my first card. Let's get straight to it. Meet our new hunter, accompanied by dog and cat. First thing we're doing is making sure we're getting rid of all our gear as well as our pets, because no one is safe. Skipping through the tutorial for Rise until we encounter the first large monster, the Great Izuchi, which I was not worried about.
These are the hunting bases. Getting angry! Knew I could count on.
Already KO'd.
Have a taste of this!
Just let me ride him. After a few more poundings to the head, the Great Izuchi goes down no problem. After the Great Izuchi goes down, we start off 2-star by taking down Arzuros with some dual blades, Logambi with the longsword, and Great Baggy with the hunting horn. Unlocking our 2-star urgent, Acnosome. Geared up with my greatsword with no focus, I anticipated Acnosome being the first semi-challenge. And by challenge, I mean actually getting hit. However, the hunt went really smooth, except for this dumb moment. Really? Nevertheless, Acnosome goes down, putting us into 3-star quest. I decided to tackle Barroth first with the Gunlance, and this is where I learned Wilds has spoiled me, because I kept repeatedly getting punished for not knowing how to use this weapon. What did I do? Absolutely nothing, it's just that block.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
What's your health?
It's funny. Although it wasn't pretty, Barroth does go down without any feints. Next up, I took down a Titranodon with the lance pretty easily, and this is where I knew the lance was going to be a really strong weapon for this challenge as well. Then Rise throws in his rampage quest, which is essentially a tutorial quest, so it's pretty easy using a switch axe. And the warrior Ludroth and Kuliaku were no trouble at all using the sword and shield and insect glaive respectively. This unlocks a 3-star urgent quest Bishatin, which I decided to hunt down with the bow. Not much to say about the fight, it went down as easily as the others, really got me questioning when the difficulty is going to ramp up. Seeing as Charge Blade is the last weapon I have not used, I figured it would go great to take down a Basarios. And as expected, the poor little guy got absolutely shredded. He got away with it easy though, because what I did to Rathian was nothing less than bullying. Just watch this. Easy.
Something's coming!
That was ridiculously easy. Holy. After that performance, I was a bit nervous to hunt a Barroth, so I picked up the longsword for those amazing counters, and with only one extremely close claw, I was able to take down Barroth with not much trouble after. I would say I took down the Somnicant with my dual blades, but this Great Baggy did the job instead. Should die right here.
Let's go for a ride!
I regrettably had to use the Gunlance again, but it didn't go anywhere near as bad as last time, taking down Bulbadon, completing my key quest. Then the flagship badass monster himself, Magnamalo, was my urgent. Admittedly, I haven't played much of Rise, so I was pretty scared, so I shielded up with my lance thinking it would be the safest option, and for the most part, I was right, except for this part where I shit my pants, but the fight wasn't much harder than the Barroth I took down just earlier. After that, it's roll credits. Goodbye everybody, Monster Hunter's too easy, like and subscribe for that godlike performance, except, of course, everyone knows low rank is baby mode. and I really wanted to test myself by reaching the end of high rank. Before Rise lets you touch high rank though, I have to finish the 5-star village quest and complete 3 special assignments. So I decided to tackle down and meet Tsune first. Feeling confident, I picked up the greatsword and it went pretty well. I just needed to dodge his water beam and I would get a guaranteed level 3 charge followed up by a true charge. Let's try this again. I just need to hit a level 3 charge followed up by this. This really happened to me twice. I'm not tripping though because I was able to level 3 charge myself to victory. After the Mitsu, I took down a Zenogre with an insect glaive, a Rathalos with a hunting horn, and a Narwa with the sword and shield. None of them gave me that much trouble, but unfortunately can't say the same for the Almudron, who was the 5-star urgent. God, I hate this thing. Geared up with the charge blade, I start off the hunt, regrettably finding out you bounce off his claws. Oh my god. It's safe to say Almudron was beating my ass. It's all good because I brought on a cheerleader to cheer me on though. Oh my god.
You might not know how to dodge, chat.
Okay, I just got roasted instead, I guess. Almudron was hitting me a little too hard all quest long. But it's okay because I hit him right back. Don't worry about that. Like I was saying, I hit him right back and he goes down with 0 feints. After defeating Almudron, I needed to complete all the special license tests, which were relatively easy, so I can unlock the urgent quest onto high rank. I completed the first test with my switch axe, the second test with my bow, and I got to use my lovely hammer for the third test. This unlocks the rampage urgent quest with Apex Arzuros, and everything went smooth up until the demon bear showed up. However, I was equipped with the longsword knowing how overly good it was in Rise with its phenomenal counters. I died.
Wait, what? How did he drop me?
Damn.
That's crazy. If you guessed in the comments that Apex Arzuros was the monster I was gonna die to first, congratulations, you get a cookie. Fuck this thing. From this point forward, I'll keep a counter for how many times I cart for this run because I suspect they're going to pile up real soon. After carting for the first time in this run, I locked in and took this demon care bear out and finally made our way to high rank. In typical Monster Hunter fashion, high rank starts off with the exact same monsters, but they do way more damage and have much more HP. Even this great Izuchi nearly took me 5 times longer, granted I was using an insect glaive. I then decided another easy quest to take down would be a Rakna-Kadaki. I was so wrong. During the hunt, I had figured out that after his second goofy little sumo rush, there's an opening to hit a level 3 charge. But I got greedy and ended up getting one shot by him, which really took me by surprise. I guess that makes 2. No big deal though, it was just a silly little mistake and the rest of the hunt is in the bag. Which would have been the case. I swear to God, I've never seen this fat duck ever shoot a water beam in my life, causing my 3rd cart so far, but more importantly my 2nd cart in this quest. I was in real threat territory now to fail the quest, which would be absolutely embarrassing to the Rakna-Kadaki. So I locked in, I sat up in my chair, slapped on this banger, because I will not fail. From then on I put on the most top tier gaming performance in my life. Yeah, okay fine, I semi-cheated, but it's a mechanic in the game and I was scared, okay? After that adrenaline pumping quest, I really needed a break, so I took on an Arzuros and Kuliaku with the sword and shield. And thankfully this quest was an actual breeze. No carts, no scares, just an easy one out the way. Next up I took down a Lagambe just as easily with the dual blades, and trying to keep up the momentum, I took on 2 great baggies with the bow. But I literally died within seconds, making the count 4. But not to worry, I actually did lock in this time and completed the quest with no more carts. Unlocking our first high rank urgent, a Juratotis. I genuinely forgot he was in the game and nevertheless, a disappointing urgent. Suited up with my charge blade, I went in thinking it would be easy. Unfortunately, I did end up dying one time, bringing the count to 5, but the rest of the hunt went smoothly, bringing us to 5-star high rank. First monster I tackled in 5-star was Rathian, and this challenge pretty much certified Rathian might be the easiest monster in the series, as she goes down nearly flawlessly. Picking up the gunless next to take down a Basarios, I felt so much more proficient with this weapon, the fight was a breeze. Sticking with the lance type weapons, I decided to take on a Baroth, being by far the most difficult monster at this current rank. Which went great, until... I kinda anticipated that happening, now being at 6 carts. But the rest of the hunt went as smooth as butter. Criminal undercover. What am I doing? To boost my morale a bit, I decided to pound a Pookie into oblivion with my hammer, bringing us to our last key quest, hunting down a Royal Luddy with the switch axe. Everything went great, and for some reason this is when I decided capturing monsters was a great idea. Both cutting down the clear time and the risk of every hunt, which was very necessary for upcoming fights. Unlocking the 5-star urgent, I was tasked down to hunt down a Mitsitsune. I have very vivid memories of getting slammed by this thing when I first played Rise. So I went and got careless and died like a small brain idiot that I am, making the new count 7. It's all good though, I always turn up after the 1 and I captured Mitsu with no more major scares or carts. From this point forward, I started exploring the game as much as I could. I started taking mega armor skins, hard shell powders, and adamant seeds to boost up my defense as much as possible in hopes to be able to tank a single hit. Additionally, I made sure to exploit the mounting mechanic when I could, but not waiting for the timer because that's boring and ruins the challenge. With all that and being able to capture monsters, I felt a lot more confident being able to complete this challenge. This allowed me to complete the Naruto with no trouble at all, and as I went on to take on his Inogur with the greatsword. Remember when I said I boosted up my defense? Well, that just did not work. This Inogur just casually hip checks me to cart number 8. But like usual, I always lock in after the 1 and holy moly, when I tell you my heart dropped there, I really didn't know how I didn't. I really thought I was safe there. Being at 9 cards now and at real risk, I went overtime. I made sure to only go for draw slashes until he was capture ready because oh my lord, that was close. Rise then decided to throw a midway urgent to repel an Ibushi. Being a little terrified, I equipped my lance knowing that was definitely my safest choice. And I was right. The rampage and Ibushi were so easy, being nearly untouchable with the lance. Somnicant was the next monster on the list, and using a sword and shield made the hunt such a breeze. Until this BS happened.
What? What hit me? I don't even understand, bro. I don't even understand.
I must have died to the last possible frame of that attack. Whatever, that brings us up to double digits. Don't worry, I got my revenge and lassoed a Rathalos over and cooked him right back, until he was capture ready, leaving 2 quests left for 6-star. I decided to take on a Tobikarachi next, finding it strange this little guy made it to 6-star. But this quest took so damn long, it was insane. Maybe going into Switch Axe wasn't the best idea. However, I did not cart and I was able to move on to my last quest, the Rathalos. Ooh, I've been waiting for this moment. I absolutely love using the hammer against Rathalos and I fully expected this to be so easy. Yet, I somehow managed to get cooked by a Rathalos so badly and I was actually at the edge of my seat. FYI, I actually forgot to press record starting this hunt, so I was up to 12 carts at this point. Playing as safely as possible, I was able to capture him, keeping the run alive without failing a quest.
We don't lose.
Piece of cake.
This unlocks the horrid Rakna-Kadaki as my 6-star urgent. Knowing the legs were the weak point, I equipped a set of dual blades using the mobility to my advantage.
Are you serious, bro? It's such right there. It's so annoying. So fucking annoying.
You're gonna be sorry for that.
I cannot believe the fire breath starts right where I dodged into. And to make things worse, I almost immediately died again due to me bouncing off her fangs. This brings me up to 14 carts. This was really bad. I've carted twice in the quest before, but this quest was fresh and I still at least half the fight to go through. So I decided to start setting up traps when she was fatigued to DPS dump as much as possible. And it worked. It was scary, but I got the job done. Beating the home stretch, I had to start off strong with the Rajang. This ain't 100 men versus 1 gorilla. This is 1 naked man versus 1 Super Saiyan monkey. This is gonna be easy. All good. In all seriousness, this hunt was actually really easy. I just had to be really patient with my openings. Taking it slow, Rajang was no problem. Then I decided to take on a Diablos after. Using the desert quicksand, this quest was just as easy.
What the
Except apparently I'm the whiff king with the charge blade. Nevertheless, it was an easy capture to finish off the quest. Next up was Gros Harag. I was super unfamiliar with this hunt, so I decided the bow was a safe option. He was able to catch me off guard once, but I learned my lesson and completed the hunt with no more issues. Then I was tested to take on a Tyrex, which I was afraid of hunting with the hunting horn, but abusing the anthills, flash bombs, and quicksand, Tyrix was actually one of the easiest quests I've done so far in the game, but I can't say the same for this next quest. Magnamalo ended up being the hardest quest thus far. Being my last key quest, I was limited to a gun lance or a switch axe, so I chose the gun lance, and that went just about how you expected.
Random ass fireball hits me, followed by the combo. Yikes, man.
Like, where did that fireball even come from? Bro spawned it in. Then he ended up getting me again, but this time it was my fault because I was being stupid. However, I knew this guy was super close to being capture ready. Playing really carefully, I was able to capture him, unlocking the 7-star urgent.
Placing a trap here! Now's our chance!
Oh my god, yes! Yes! What a bitch.
Narwa the Thunder Serpent. Due to my weapon roll, I was forced to use a switch axe for this hunt. Unfortunately, I've realized the switch axe was my absolute worst weapon. So, I buffed up to the max to start the quest off before I jumped in.
Maxed out defense. Fighting Narwa.
Using the splitting wyvern shot, cannons, machine gun, and dragonator, this quest was actually one of the easier quests of the whole challenge. But she was able to get me once.
Stupid. Ah, that's fine.
The moveset was really easy to get a hold of and had no more cards for the rest of the hunt. Until finally, I ended this challenge for good, taking down Narwa. So, can you beat Monster Hunter Rise with no armor? Yes, relatively easily actually. With only 18 carts, no quest failed, and I was able to use every weapon evenly for 48 quests. No, I have 7 hammer uses due to the tutorial quests and 2 gathering quests in 1-star village. Overall, this was a really fun challenge with just a little over 16 hours to complete it. If this video somehow manages to get 1k likes, I'll do a master rank run. But if not, stay tuned, subscribe as I have more fun Monster Hunter content planned, tackling down wilds next, which I will be streaming over at my Twitch channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Later.